Yva here with Yva Loveearts, and today I'll be showing you the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen, which is a new pen that I have fallen in love with. And I'm going to show you 5 ways that I plan on using this pen. But first, I'm just kind of getting a feel for this pen by making some different marks on an index card. So the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen is an actual brush. It has nylon bristles, or I think they're nylon, they're synthetic anyway. And it's very flexible, so you can get a wide range of marks from very thin to thick, just depending on the pressure. You do have to move slowly when you're writing with this pen. If you move too quickly, then you'll get a dry brush effect, which is a cool effect if that's what you're going for. And this is a great warm-up for whichever way you plan to use your pen for whatever project. I recommend doing a doodle sheet first just to get a feel for it, especially with these brush type pens. So you can get some really great expressive lines with this pen. And I'll go ahead and move on and show you the first way that I plan on using this pen, which is to draw over painted backgrounds. I have a Gelli printed index card here that was done with some acrylic paint, and I'm just drawing directly over it. I had not penciled this in, it's just a quick sketch just to show you how this pen writes so beautifully over dried paint. The ink in this pen is waterproof and fade resistant, which makes it ideal for mixed media work. As soon as it's dry, then you can paint over it with watercolor or whatever your heart desires, and it will stay put. I guess if there was one criticism I have about this pen, it is that when it dried, it faded a little bit. So it was not as dark as I would have liked it to be on this dark background. But it is an ink and not a paint, so that may be the reason. And I'm just writing the quote, "Creativity takes courage," and that was by Henry Matisse. So now I will move on to the next, which is hand lettering. And this is something that I am working on still myself. And so I'm going really slow. This is actually sped up to twice the speed, so if you can imagine, I'm going even slower than this shows. Because the tip on this pen is so flexible, you have to be really careful when you are doing your hand lettering. Of course, the trick to hand lettering is applying pressure on the downstrokes and then lightening up as you attempt the upstrokes. So that's why it's best just to take your time and go slow. And I thought this quote was perfect for this hand lettering. Everything is hard before it is easy. Something I think that a lot of people seem to forget when it comes to art of any form. It takes practice. So there's that one. And we'll move on to the third way, which is a rough sketching for watercolor. And I'm just going to very quickly draw some lines so that I can create a very loose city skyline. And once I've finished drawing this in, I'll step away and let it dry. And then I'll come back and bring in some watercolor. And the city is by the water, so I just painted in some water, and I will bring the reflections of those buildings down into the water. Just a very simple composition, but it's just to give you the idea that you can paint with wet media over this ink once it's dry. And the fourth way I will be using this pen is to ink in pencil drawings. So I've just previously drawn out a portrait of a lady, and I will be inking her in. And with a light touch, you can achieve some thin lines and light lines with this pen. And by using more of the brush side, you can lay down some color rather quickly with this pen. Now I'm just fussing with the details, and I should have left well enough alone because I went in and added too much ink to this ear. So I go in with a white Posca paint pen and try to use it like a correction fluid so that I can try to fix it. So the final way that I will be using this pen is with abstract drawing, or what most people call doodling. So there's no plan here, there's just play, and really just using the pen to create fun lines and playing with thick and thin, and I do love curvy lines, so juxtaposing that against straight lines just to add some interest to this little doodle. So overall, I really enjoyed using this brush, and it has already become one of my favorites. It also comes with a refill, so that's a plus. So I'm just wrapping up this drawing, and I did want to mention that this video was released in conjunction with the first issue of Artful Magazine, which was put together by Deb, who most of you know as Artsology here on YouTube. And I just encourage all of you to go and check out her online magazine, artfulmagazine.com. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and leave me some love in the comments below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much for stopping by.